So the month of June has started, and in this industry, look, there's some car salespeople that make it, and there's some that don't. There's some that make it that nobody else ever thought that they would make it. They didn't have the skill, they didn't have the confidence, they didn't have nothing at all besides these three qualities that every car salesperson that is successful, that they absolutely need. And then there's those guys who come in with the most confidence, most charisma. They know how to speak, they're good looking, but they end up failing in the automotive industry. Why is that? Look, as you start out this month in June, why don't you make it the biggest month that you've ever had in the automotive industry? Why not? But that's the decision that you're going to need to make. See, the top performers who I work with, who I coach on a daily basis, there's three things that I talk to them constantly every single day. Even the guys that I work with, how are they making $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $20,000 a month? Not all of them are, but the top guys who go by these three qualities, they're the ones who absolutely crush it in the automotive industry. So what are those? There's three things. The first one is you need to out-improve. Look, if you're going to come into the automotive industry and you are not going to invest in yourself, if you are not, I don't mean invest money necessarily, but invest your time into you getting better, into you upgrading your skills, and then you have this motion in your head that somehow you want to make $15,000, $20,000 a month, you want to change your life, but you don't want to invest any time, that's why you're failing. Because when you go home, you watch more Netflix than you do on training. You don't learn how to overcome objections. You don't even have any goals written down. You have no idea where you're going for this whole year, and you have no idea why you're doing it. See, there's one saying that goes that your why should make you cry. Most guys don't even know what their why is, why they even get started in the automotive industry. Not only do they not know what their why is, they're scared to remind themselves every single day. But you need to out-improve. You need to start reading books. You need to start changing your mindset. You need to start becoming a $15,000 person before you can ever earn that income. See, when you start investing in yourself, when you start reading books, when you start learning how to overcome objections, when you start learning the art of sales, all of a sudden your identity starts getting higher. And I can tell you right now, slowly but surely, your paycheck is going to catch up to you. That's exactly what happens. But most guys just stay down here and they expect to make this type of income. You explain to me how that's going to work. Somehow in your fucking head, that makes sense. That's going to work. That's how it should be. And yet you're blaming the dealership, you're blaming your colleagues, you're blaming the inventory. But why are there guys at your dealership who are absolutely crushing it? Why is that? They get more leads than you? Is there favoritism? It doesn't matter what it is. If you don't invest time in learning this craft, which is car sales, if you don't learn how to make a friend, if you don't learn emotional intelligence, if you don't learn the art of sales, like, forget about succeeding in this automotive industry. Get out of it. Go do something else where you're standing behind a desk where you don't need to talk to people at all. But if you do this, you will be very successful. The second thing is that you need to outwork. This is another hidden secret that you think in your mind somehow that you don't need. Let me give you a wake-up call. Okay? A complete opposite of what you get told online. There's guys out there say, oh, you can sell 40, 50 cars by, looking at people in your neighborhood through social media, use these ads, use that everything. How's that working out for you? Are you the top person at your dealership right now? Because you're on social media all the time, because you're making all these reels, you're posting all these stories? Are you the number one guy at your dealership right now? Yes or no? Just answer the question. Is the number one guy at your dealership right now, is he doing what you're doing right now? Is he? Answer the question, yes or no. The question is probably no. Most of you guys are you're just trying to avoid all the hard work. That's exactly what you're trying to do. But at the beginning, nothing is going to happen if you don't work your fucking balls off. If you don't work your fucking ass off, there's absolutely nothing that's going to happen. If you go into the automotive industry thinking that you're going to work this 9-to-5 job, people are going to walk in, you're not going to have to make calls, you're not going to have to be super aggressive, you're not going to have to be on your phone all the time trying to take all the leads. Let me tell you right now, let me tell you about reality. what it actually is, because I run a dealership. I have guys who are absolutely crushing it right now, not some salespeople that are trying to train you who don't have the life that you do. The fucking craziest thing is that some of you guys take advice from people that you would not switch spots with that are just as broke as you are. It's fucking crazy. I can tell you right now, you are never going to get anywhere in this automotive industry if you don't work your fucking ass off. You have to work hard. Out-improve, outwork. You literally have to outwork your competition. That's how you're going to get more opportunities. That's how you're going to get more leads at the beginning. I'm not saying this has to be throughout your whole life, but at the very beginning, there has to be a period of time in your life where you're willing to sacrifice something, or else your future becomes a sacrifice. Either you sacrifice some portion of your life right now, or you're going to sacrifice some portion of your future. It's completely up to you. The third thing is, we went over out-improve, outwork, and the third thing is outlast. When you look at players like LeBron James, okay? When you look at players like, if any of you watch hockey, Alexander Ovechkin, who broke the Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record, okay? What have these athletes been able to do? In tennis, if you look at Djokovic, what have these athletes been able to do? Some athletes, they're very good for like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And there's some athletes that are good for decades, if you look at them. So you can out-improve, you can outwork, but the third thing, if you absolutely want to change your life, you have to outlast. For the last, I would say 7 to 8 years, there's been nobody I can say at my dealership that has worked harder than I have. But I've also outlasted those people. There might have been a time where they might have caught up to me, but I've outlasted those people in this industry. That's why I've had the success that I've had. But for you as well, this is not something that you do for 1 month, for 2 months. There has to be a couple of years in your life which you're willing to sacrifice to build your wealth, to build your income, so one day your future self can actually have an easier life. Stop watching social media. Stop looking at all this bullshit that you see online, because that is not reality. That is just fake shit that people are just trying to basically just sell you a dream, which doesn't really exist. It's not reality. Look around at you. Look around you. Look at your dealership. Look around everywhere that you go. Nothing happens without hard work. But the third thing is that you need to outlast everyone. So if you made it up to the end of this video, there's also a video where I walk through step by step, which I'm going to link in the description below, where I walk you through step by step how I was able to absolutely change my life step by step through the automotive industry, how I went from sleeping on a mattress to going on vacations like Bora Bora, Maui. I've been there a couple times now, absolutely changing my whole life. I urge you to watch that video. But the last thing I'll say is that make June a juicy one. Let's call it Juicy June. Make June a month to remember. If you work on these 3 things, you'll absolutely crush it at your dealership and change your life. Till next time, I'll see you later.